Here is a method to the path of harmony by balancing the inner and outer worlds. One of the most transformative discoveries in spiritual practice is the relationship between our inner growth and its outward ripple effect. The Buddha's teachings on the Four Immeasurables and the Six Paramitas provide a profound framework for this. The Four Immeasurables, loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity, are taught as outward-facing practices, encouraging us to cultivate qualities that benefit all beings. In contrast, the Six Paramitas, generosity, ethical conduct, patience, enthusiastic perseverance, meditation, and wisdom, are intended to support the practitioner's inner journey. Yet, it's essential to recognize that there is no true separation between a selfless practice and a selfish one. These concepts are deeply intertwined. To genuinely serve others, we must take care of ourselves. Neglecting our own well-being can lead to unnecessary suffering along the path or evoke an ego-identified state where we believe we are not worthy of care. This can perpetuate unresolved traumas that reinforce feelings of unworthiness, ultimately hindering our ability to offer authentic compassion and connection. Some may argue that spiritual practice is inherently selfish, particularly when it involves turning inward to focus on self-care and personal growth. However, by engaging in the Four Immeasurables, we are actively developing the bodhicitta attitude, the aspiration to attain enlightenment for the benefit of all beings. This mindset roots us in the understanding that our growth as unique individuals is not separate from the well-being of the collective. When we embody the Four Immeasurables, we cultivate the capacity to share a world with others in ways that foster harmony and interconnection. At the same time, by engaging with the Six Paramitas, we ensure that our own journey is sustainable, balanced, and free from the traps of self-neglect. This holistic approach supports our individual desires for growth and our commitment to creating a more compassionate world. In this way, spiritual practice becomes a dynamic interplay, a simultaneous nurturing of our inner selves and an outward offering of our love, joy, and wisdom to others. Far from being selfish, it is a profound act of connection, one that bridges the gap between personal transformation and collective well-being. Let's delve deeper into the Four Immeasurables and the Six Paramitas and explore how they serve as transformative tools for both personal and collective growth. The Four Immeasurables, loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity, are profound focal points that encourage us to extend these qualities outward into the world. When we practice them, we cultivate a powerful wish for the well-being of all sentient beings. May all beings experience happiness and the causes of happiness. May all beings experience the freedom from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings experience joy and always be free from sorrow. May all beings experience love and equanimity, free from aversions and obsessions. These are not merely words or lofty ideals. They are a practice of reorienting our hearts and minds towards collective harmony. They invite us to actively hold the intent for humanity to move into a greater state of peace and interconnectedness. These aspirations for others remind us of our role as practitioners in cultivating this inner desire for outward harmony. On the other hand, the six paramitas, generosity, ethical conduct, patience, enthusiastic perseverance, meditation, and wisdom, are practices we cultivate within ourselves for ourselves. They form the foundation of our inner work, providing the tools to develop a deeper connection to our own lives. These qualities allow us to engage with the world from a grounded, authentic, and compassionate space. It's important to understand that this is not about drawing a hard line between selflessness and selfishness. In reality, there is no such dichotomy because we are all deeply interdependent. The inner transformation we achieve by embodying the six paramitas directly impacts our ability to extend the four immeasurables outwardly. When we work on qualities such as patience or generosity within ourselves, we expand our capacity to wish for and work toward the happiness and liberation of others. This interplay between the four immeasurables and the six paramitas is particularly relevant for yoga practitioners and teachers. Spiritual practice is often thought of as something purely selfless, yet in truth, it is both personal and collective. When we engage in these practices for our own well-being, we simultaneously contribute to the well-being of others. The Buddha's teachings remind us that our individual growth and the collective growth of humanity are inseparable. As yoga practitioners, we often hear conversations about inclusivity and intersectionality. These are deeply rooted in the fourth immeasurable. May all beings experience equanimity free from aversions and obsessions. This aspiration asks us to co-create environments where everyone feels safe, accepted, and valued. It challenges us to foster a space where biases and divisions dissolve, making room for a shared experience of equanimity and connection. This means we aren't just cultivating equanimity in meditation, we're also embodying it in the yoga spaces we create. Can we ensure that our yoga classes, workshops, and communities reflect this wisdom? Are they inclusive, welcoming, and free of judgment? When we succeed in this, we take the immeasurables off the mat and into the real world, creating ripples of harmony that extend far beyond ourselves. While the four immeasurables focus on outward relationships, the six paramitas turn inward, asking us to develop these qualities within. For example, in a yoga or meditation practice, we might set the intention to cultivate patience. This could mean being patient with our physical body as we move through yoga poses, allowing ourselves to be where we are without judgment. Or it could mean being patient with the fluctuations of our mind during meditation, recognizing that thoughts will arise and that is part of the process. Similarly, we might work on generosity, not just in the sense of giving material possessions, but being generous with our time, attention, and love towards ourselves. This could involve giving ourselves permission to rest when needed, or to approach our practice with kindness rather than harsh discipline. Each of the six paramitas offers a framework for self-development, helping us release what no longer serves and strengthen our resolve to live with integrity and compassion. When we combine these two frameworks, the Four Immeasurables and the Six Paramitas, we create a holistic approach to spiritual practice. Imagine using your yoga or meditation practice as a means to embody these qualities. For example, if you're setting an intention before practice, you might ask yourself, can I cultivate patience today for myself and for others? How can I embody generosity in my movements or breath work? Am I creating an environment of equanimity for all beings, both inwardly and outwardly? By aligning our work with the Six Paramitas and the outer aspirations of the Four Immeasurables, we integrate these timeless teachings into our lives in powerful ways. Ultimately, spiritual practice is a lifelong journey. As we work on cultivating these qualities within ourselves, they naturally radiate outward, influencing how we show up in the world. This interplay is what makes the teachings of the Buddha so profound. They remind us that inner transformation and outer harmony are deeply connected. So whether you're meditating, practicing yoga asana, or simply moving through your day, consider how you might bring these qualities into your practice and life. Perhaps your asana practice becomes a prayer for patience, or a moment of meditation becomes a wish for equanimity for all beings. By working with the Six Paramitas and the Four Immeasurables, we become agents of change, not just for ourselves, but for the world around us. If you enjoyed this Dharma talk and would like to join me on the path of moving away from big Dharma and shifting into what is often described as the golden age of spirituality and spiritual practices, then please do follow, like, share, and comment your experiences of taking on timeless practices and adapting them into this new modern day era of practices that we love so much.